Are you wondering why nurses are leaving the NHS? Are you wondering why so many people don't want to work with the NHS? They want to just quit, they want to give up, they want to change their job, they want to leave the bedside nursing, they want to leave the bedside to go do something else. Let's discuss that in this video. But before we go on, I'm going to introduce our sponsor for today, the sponsor of this wonderful video, Skillshare. I don't know if you've heard about Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform made up of wonderful creators with over 1,000 videos spread across over 150 countries. You know if it is not legit, you know if it is not good, I will not bring it to you. I've personally tried Skillshare when I was trying to finish my summative assessment for my second semester exam in the UK, my second semester essay. I had to go use Skillshare. I use Skillshare for my essay writing. There are so many things you can learn on Skillshare. Is it cooking? Is it how to relax, time management, baking, video editing, phone photography, name it. I can't even mention it all. Skillshare is your plug. Skillshare is what you need in your life. You can access Skillshare from the comfort of your home. Try Skillshare using my code or going through the link in the description box, and the first 1,000 people to register to use Skillshare we have access to free 1 month trial. Try it and let me know what you've been up to, what course you've enjoyed, and I promise you a trial will convince you. Working in the care home for a few years and then moving into the NHS in the past few months, I think I'm able to share my experience firsthand. And with my interaction with people who have worked in the NHS, who are working in the NHS, or who left the NHS, I'm able to tell you that so many people are leaving the NHS for one or two of the reasons I'm going to be giving you. This video is not intended to discourage you for new nurses coming into NHS. Come and give it a try. Our experience, my experience, and every other person's experience may not be the same with you, but it's just for you to be informed. Because going into the NHS, I've discovered that the NHS is overrated. There are so many reasons why so many nurses, especially not even just nurses, doctors, health workers, care assistants, so many health workers want to leave the NHS. The first of which I would say is work overload in the NHS, especially thanks to COVID. The NHS is well overloaded with so many responsibilities, so many things you have to do. The long work hours, 12 hours, 12.5 hours, and you want to meet the time. You have patients you're working with who are not patients as well. You have patients you're working with that want everything done like yesterday. They pressure you into thinking the whole world is your responsibility, and you're just working against the time. All the time you're having to catch up, you're having to rush to do things. Another thing is shortage of staff. For the fact that there's shortage of staff does not mean your patient or patient ratio will be adjusted to suit you. One thing I've noticed is the shortage of staff is becoming a pandemic, especially in the UK. There are so many places that need nurses, but the patients are not reducing. If anything, we have more sick society, more aging population than we have available workers, available staff, available nurses to cover the required standard of nurse patient ratio. It is very sad, and I will also say again, thanks to COVID, because it has made it even worse. You can start your shift today, you think you have enough staff, and between the middle of the shift, anything can happen. Somebody can be unwell, somebody can be moved to another place. It is just frustrating to work in such environment with that much pressure and just not enough bodies to do the work. It is something that is not safe. As a nurse, I think it is not safe, especially practicing in the UK where there's so many laws, there's so many threats to you're going to lose your pin if you make the slightest mistake, if you say the slightest thing that you shouldn't say. I know we're trained to preserve life. I know we're trained to help people. I know we're trained to work hard and help care for people, but at the same time I don't think it's safe for any nurse or anybody at all, for that matter, to work in an environment where there's so much pressure, where you're working short staffed. And another thing is the money. I am not going to say that the NHS staff or the nurses in general don't get good pay. I will say our salary is not too bad for being a nurse, but I think we can do better. And another problem you see is you as a nurse working hard, working so hard, 12-hour shifts, standing on your feet, on your toe 90% of the time you're at work, 10 hours, 11 hours, working really, really hard. You get paid and then you hear what other people, I know you're going to say that I should focus and money should not be the ultimate goal and money should not be the thing we're there for. But remember, we have expenses, we have our own life as well, and we have bills. Money is something that we work for, even though we are there to care and we're there to help people. We should be motivated by how much we get. You know, you can work the same shift and then you hear that somebody who is an agency nurse, of course I can talk about this because I also work as an agency nurse currently. I've worked in a care home and I currently work in the NHS as well, so I have gotten at least good experience when it comes to all these issues. And you see somebody who is working in that same NHS or in that same place, an agency is coming and is earning 5 times, 6 times what that person who is already a permanent staff is going to earn. And my question is, what does it cost the NHS to increase and pay nurses what they really want? I don't know how much it will cost them because I know how extravagant in some way. I'm not saying the NHS is perfect. I'm not saying the NHS is bad. But what I'm saying is I know how extravagant the NHS can be when it comes to some things that money shouldn't be wasted on. Money that has been wasted on that aspect can be easily added to paying nurses well. You hear nurses in the NHS, somebody who is a band six, I've spoken to so many of them. Usually when we're on break, I try to ask a question. Somebody who is a band six is earning what somebody who is a pre-registered nurse is earning in a care home, or somebody who is a newly qualified just joining the care home, what they earn. It may not be the same for everybody, but I'm telling you based on my own personal experience that the NHS could be paid better. And that is one reason why so many people will decide to either remain in the care home or stick to the care home or go join agency, or even worse, leave nursing completely because they just feel they are being undervalued. Another thing is the strictness, the policy, so many laws that I know the laws protect the patient, which should be our ultimate goal. But I've never ever had to work under tension of the fear of losing my registration, losing my pin, like I have in the past few years working in the UK, and most importantly working with the NHS. You're always watching your back, you're always guiding yourself, you're always scared that the law may not favor you. If anything should go wrong, you may lose your pin or even still be jailed, imprisoned, persecuted, accused of doing something that is wrong. I know when we make mistakes in health, it can be detrimental to not just our patient but to their family and the society at large. So I really understand the importance of those policies, but I think there's always this pressure of, especially when you hear people telling you to your face that, do you know you can lose your pin for doing that? Or do you know your pin is at risk? It's like a threat. One other thing I think is the reason why most nurses are leaving the NHS is due to post-traumatic stress disorder. I personally will say when I get home sometimes I still have post-traumatic stress disorder of everything I went through at work, all the things I've done and things that have happened. You still play them back in your head, and sometimes you're not able to shut down, to switch off to the fact that you're no longer at work and you're at home and you need to relax. I envy people who are able to just switch off immediately. Sometimes I'm able to, but most of the time you still kind of reflect on the things you've done during the day, and then you begin to have post-traumatic stress disorder because when even in your general life it starts to affect you. Sometimes you're anxious, you're thinking, oh, I've not done anything wrong. Depend on where you're working as well. There's so many things that you can go through or experience that it's actually, I would even say this is generally in nursing generally. It doesn't even matter if you're with the NHS or care home or wherever, or in your country, wherever you are. I think being a nurse generally puts you through so a lot of stress that nobody is talking about, that so many of us don't address. You have this anxiety, you have this panic, you have this post work trauma, which can even make you become depressed. You can't even be depressed in peace because you still have to meet up to the standard of being a nurse, and you have people around you saying it into your ear that, are you not a nurse, are you not this? So you're expected to meet up some standard that you personally may not be able to even meet up. Toxic environment in the NHS is real. You might have heard it from people, but I'm telling you that the toxic environment in the NHS is real. There's so many things that will make you understand that working in the NHS sometimes can be very, very toxic, largely dependent on who you're working with, where you're working, and the management of where you're working. There are some areas you work in the NHS that the environment is going to be extremely toxic and it's not going to help you to thrive. There's this superiority complex. There's a lot of I know more than you. There's a lot of you just don't know anything. There's a lot of you fall in trouble if you do that, because there's so many people who have years of experience and there's not enough support for new nurses, I would say, especially if you're just leaving school. There's not enough support for you to transition from being a student who is dependent on the teacher, dependent on their tutor, dependent on people to make decisions for them, to you now becoming the registered nurse who have to make those decisions. There's not enough support. I would say there's so many platforms online in the NHS where you can study, you can read, you can advance yourself. But when it comes to the practicality of everything you've learned in school and everything they're trying to support you with in the NHS, I think personally there are not much support physically from both the seniors, but from management, from people around you who are supposed to look after you. But you're not going to blame them as much, because I really understand, especially when I changed my job, I understand the environment is very, very busy. So there's no time for one senior nurse to come and pick you and baby feed you like they're going to take you through everything that you may have, like you will have in some other work environment. So it is very stressful for them as well, because they just want to meet up with the target of the day. They want to make sure everything is working the way it should work. So they may not have enough time to actually model you through what you should do. You may be pushed into the deep end. It's not just within the NHS. Even when I started in my last care home as well, at some point I felt I was pushed into the deep end, although it helped me to learn quicker. But I'm just saying that times when within the NHS there's not enough support for especially new graduate students or new nurses. There's this high expectation expected from you, as if you're not a human being. You're expected to be almost perfect, like an angel, which is not possible. There are so many things that the patient will say or do that you just wonder, do they really realize that I'm also a human being? Do they really realize that I'm having burnt out, like I'm getting burnt out right now? But that is the reality of so many people working in the NHS. This may not be your own reality, and it may not be something you're going to experience at any time in your life. But I have seen so many thousands of people, especially during this pandemic, leaving the NHS and seeking other career, either leaving the bedside nursing to more academic part area of nursing, moving to care homes, moving to become agency nurses, or even moving to another country. And I've seen some that actually left the job, like left nursing, and will never go back to nursing because of their experience working with the NHS. I'm not in any way trying to discourage you. So far, so good. There are still so many things you can achieve being an NHS nurse. But I just want you to be very, very prepared, because just like I said, I think NHS is overrated and nobody is talking about the reality of working with the NHS. That is why this video came about, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, or if you do, please remember to like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and stay tuned to this channel for more reality videos. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And remember to check the description box for the link to join Skillshare. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Until then, stay safe and go for your dream. Go until you achieve happiness and fulfillment. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.